Hello everyone, welcome to PassionWaterTarot. My name is Mama Doo, and it's Missing Person Monday. So this will be the third reading for this week for Missing Person Monday. And we're going to cover an older case. 1990. Everything keeps saying Garland, Texas, but it's not Garland, it's Mesquite. 635 and Military Parkway is Mesquite, Texas, all day long. Okay? And this young lady named Ashley, Ashley Reed, R-E-E-D, 19 years old, had not lived in Texas for very long. She had grown up in Minnesota, but her mother was offered a job here in Texas, so here they come to the wild, wild west, right? And Ashley landed her job at JoJo's restaurant in Addison. Nice place to work back in those days. She's like 5 years younger than me, okay? So she hadn't been working there long, but she was working on rebuilding her social circle. You know, she had to leave all of her friends up in the north. So she called her mom at work and told her mom she was going to meet these two guys, Robert and Dave, at IHOP. I can describe this whole intersection. You have no idea. I grew up in Dallas and Garland, but then I lived in Mesquite as an adult for years. And so I literally can describe this whole area. But she was meeting these people at IHOP. And this date, by the way, I didn't even tell you the date. January the 15th, 1990. It's January 1990, so it's cold. It's pretty cold. I haven't looked up what the weather was back then. Sorry about that. But she was in, she was dressed for the weather. I mean, she had on a long skirt, long sleeve shirt, and a bomber jacket. So, medium length bomber jacket. So she was dressed for cold weather. She mentioned to her mom she was thinking about going with some friends to Corsicana. Corsicana's kind of a ways out there for some of us people back in them days. At least it felt like it. And nobody knows who David and Robert are. So let's go ahead at this point and ask Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, angels, and ancestors to come into this reading with love and light, to provide the highest level of clarity to those receiving messages, and ask that chakras be open to allow those messages to be received with ease. The next morning, Ashley's car, later that night at that restaurant, people witnessed and reported that they saw her talking to a man who was dressed in cowboy attire. Well, that would have been pretty common for the time and for the area. So the next morning, we're there now. Ashley's car has been discovered, abandoned, on the on-ramp of 635 at Military. It's pretty much in front of the Mesquite Rodeo Arena. And it's a pretty decent length on ramp. It's got a dead battery. But once they charged the battery, the hazard lights started blinking. But her purse and her keys were not in the car, and neither was she. Of course, at this point, nobody knows. Theories are, she thought she was having problems with her vehicle. One report says her seat was pushed all the way back. Oh, I forgot to mention to you, she's only like 5'2", 5'3", same height as me. So, trust me, her seat is not pushed all the way back. Unless the second person is there manning the pedals for her, she can't reach it. Especially not in some 1990 or older vehicle. So, they don't know if she thought she was having car problems and pulled over and turned on her flashers. If somebody coerced her into their vehicle at that point, if she walked off at that point, if she voluntarily got into another vehicle with somebody at that point, was she even there whenever her car was parked there? They don't know. In 1990, they didn't have cameras. So there was nothing to point them in any direction. Sorry, I hear something outside. Don't know what it is. I don't see anything. But two fishermen reported finding her purse in a gravel pit near the Trinity River and Bodark Road. That is kind of the edge of Dallas, Seagoville, Box Springs area. And now I think they call it the Great Trinity Park or something like that. Back then it was just the Trinity River. But when they went back, whenever the fishermen reported this to the police and they go back, they couldn't find the purse no more. Like somebody might have been watching and decided, oh, I better go get that evidence back. Then, because, everything's on paper back then. Things were just starting to be put on computers, but they were still trying to figure out how to utilize those to organize, right? So, they discovered that there was a young lady named Melissa Northrup. Her body was found at the same location as where the purse was found, even though when they go back, the purse was gone. A young man by the name of Kenneth McDuff was executed in 1998 for Melissa's 1992 murder. McDuff knew Melissa. She was the wife of this manager at a Waco, Texas convenience store where he worked at. So they had a connection. They never placed a connection for Ashley and Kenneth McDuff. But it could absolutely have been one of convenience. Because Ashley didn't have friends here. She was just making friends, you know? She was just rebuilding her social circle when she vanished. She was a very lovable, likable young lady. Her friend, her ex-boyfriend back in Minnesota, came all the way to Texas to hunt for her and brought other friends with him to help search for her. Alright, so could Robert or Dave been the guy in the cowboy attire? Yes, absolutely. Could Robert, Dave, or some guy in cowboy attire been the one to have parked Ashley's car? Absolutely. Could they? It could be anybody at this point. You know, stranger abductions are really the least common. Even back then. They were the least common then as they are now. We hear about them the most because they're the absolute most terrifying, everybody thinks, because they really do think they can trust all their family and friends not to cause them harm. And we do hope that we surround ourselves with people who do not cause us harm. Now, those two guys, Dave and Robert, everybody would love to know who they are. Love to talk to them. Did they actually meet up with Ashley? Was anybody else involved? They may have had nothing to do with it whatsoever, and it was another coincidence. Could this person have talked to her at IHOP and said, you know, I'm having car troubles, could you follow me? And then they pull over, turn on their flashers, she pulls behind them, turns on her flashers, and when she gets out to go check on them, they grab her and speed off. Trust me, crazier things have happened. But let's ask Spirit about it. Let's see what Spirit has to say about this, okay? So Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, angels and ancestors, what can you tell us about Ashley Reed's disappearance in January 1990? Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? The Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles. Do you see that? Do you see that person on a bicycle? They're riding through the water, through the waves. Hurry, hurry, I must go. Hurry, hurry, I want to get to my goal. I'm not stable. I'm not grounded. Everything is just happening too fast. It's just like my whole head is spinning. Justice in reverse. Yeah, there's not been any justice in this case for Ashley. There's not been any justice for her mother all these years. I don't even know if her mother is still with us on the face of the earth. I'm not telling you how old I am. But Ashley's a few years younger than me. And that would make her mother like in her 80s. So what other information can you tell us about the night that Ashley Reed disappeared from Mesquite, Texas, 1990, Spirit? Things were very confusing. It was being juggled. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Is this the right timing? Lightning's not going to strike twice in the same place. And we have a book. Nine of Swords in reverse. Well, this person is really disturbed. Seriously? Sorry, I just realized how turned the camera was. Seriously disturbed, okay? I don't know why my camera's going off. There's nothing there. They, feel like they haven't done anything wrong. Not to justify the punishment they received. Okay, so this person has paid a price, but it does not carry Ashley's name. I want to know about the price. Here it is. There was a sword of truth. Looking back on bad acts. Looking back on how somebody wasn't doing the things they were supposed to be doing. They were acting out. They were hurting others. They were causing complications and disturbances. Thinking it was their art form. Yeah, they thought they were in charge. They were the leader of the pack. But they couldn't get nobody to believe their lies. So they accepted their life as it is, or as it was, and decided they were going to work their magic with everybody else. Then they realized they were fighting by themselves. And there was nobody in their corner to support them. And they couldn't start over again. Wow, this person had a real big awakening that took them down a lot of notches. They were behind bars. They were in jail. This person was in jail. Has been in jail. They've been beat up. Basically sacrificed by other inmates. Eight of Cups in reverse. This person has died. Spirit, is this Kenneth McDuff? Did Kenneth McDuff harm Ashley Reed? And two more. This is saying 3 cups. The 3 that's now known. Melissa, the other person, and now Ashley. And there's 2 more. There's 2 more people that Kenneth hurt. That Kenneth took their life. That hasn't been discovered yet. Or not he hasn't received the blame for it yet. I like to see somebody having to pay for their karma. This here, that Eight of Cups in reverse, that's a hell of a doozy. Yeah. This person never had any remorse for what they did to anybody. Spirit, can you tell us where Ashley Reed's remains are located? Thank you for all messages forthcoming. What say ye? Holy Spirit, Spirit God, angels and ancestors, can you tell us where Ashley Reed's remains are located? I don't want to hear from Kenneth McDuff. I want to know about Ashley. Basically, he's telling me to F off. His energy's telling me to F off. Okay. Yeah, he's a real jerk. Figure it out for yourself. Huh? Kenneth McDuff? I don't think you're the smartest of the smart. You left the others in the same spot as you left Ashley's purse, although apparently you were still there and you retrieved it immediately. Ashley's in the Trinity. Queen of Pentacles is in reverse. Yeah, she was a very stable female. And her remains are at the bottom, being held down by something very heavy. She's inside of something. It's not a barrel. It's more like a refrigerator, but it's not a refrigerator. It's like a toolbox. A toolbox. She's in a toolbox. Six of Cups. Knight of Swords in reverse. Ace of Cups. And the Empress. See, I'm picking up on Ashley's energy now, and that's a beautiful thing. I love it when that happens. What is this saying to me is to her friends, to her family, to all those invested in this reading. There's nobody left to pay the price. That's a balance. The sword is a balance. Swords are balanced. That's how they're forged. The person who perpetrated this crime upon Ashley has already paid the ultimate price at the hands of the state of Texas. Unfortunately, her name was not on the list of those who he was convicted on. but she wants you to be happy. She wants you to live a very full, thankful, grateful life. And she wants you to remember her, to really remember her. Remember how happy she is, how laughing she is, how grateful she is. Don't ever let her be anything less. Okay? So your romance card for all those invested in this reading. Somebody's getting married. Somebody's looking to go to a higher level of commitment. Somebody can find peace and comfort to allow themselves to enjoy that part of their life now. Because Ashley would want that for you. Passion. Trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and your career. That's hella beautiful. Now let's get a card of advice from Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels and Ancestors, and Ashley for this reading. Said she was going on a great adventure, taking a risk, venturing forward. But you guys need to break trail. You've been on this path for so long. Break trail. That's from Ashley. A breakthrough is at hand. Recognizing and coming to terms that Kenneth Macduff is guilty. And allowing Ashley's energy to be released. Okay? Now, before I read these, I'm going to ask Spirit what's the most likely outcome of this reading. Two of Swords in reverse. Yeah. Time to let the swords down. There's nobody to pay the price. The price has already been paid. Now is the time to relish, to enjoy, and appreciate Ashley's energy. Okay? And that is clarified by the Knight of Wands in reverse. Yeah, see? That in and out energy, Kenneth Macduff, is not around. It's no good. Nobody wants that energy. Alright, so great adventure. At the end of your life, you're more likely to regret the things you didn't do than the things you did do. That says it right there. At the end of your life, you're more likely going to regret what you didn't do rather than what you did do. Please make an effort to enjoy your life to the fullest as Ashley would have wanted you to. Take risks. Not every risk enables success, but if you don't try, you'll never know what remarkable experiences were available to you. Now let's go back to breaking trail, because that's what Ashley's really the message sending in this reading. You're at the beginning of a breakthrough. Everything you've been doing for the past few years has been a preparation for what's ahead. There are instances when the path isn't clear ahead, and in those moments, sometimes you need to break trail. In your life, it may seem that the path disappears. However, the only way to reach your destination is to push through. Keep going. Do things in a new way. Imagine a woman giving birth. It's hard, but through her great effort, a baby comes into being. Something new and exciting is coming into your life. Oh, is that a wedding of a different kind? Is it a renewal? Is there an organization that you want to support or create? Weddings can be a lot of things. It's like a handfast thing. It's a commitment. And you're ready to commit. So, thank you, Ashley, for coming to your reading. Thank you, Spirit, for guiding us during this reading. And you all, remember, under no circumstances will I accept or request any monetary supplements regarding missing people or criminal cases. Those are a gift from Spirit. I'll see you all soon. Namaste.